Couples therapy does not work. Why? Because it doesn't address the underlying problems inside the relationship. What do I mean? I don't know if you've seen that series on Netflix, Couples Therapy. But with respect to the people that run the series, with respect to the person that's doing it, one of the things that shows clearly is the underlying issues of the needs of men and women inside a relationship are not addressed. Men need certain things. Men need respect. Men need appreciation for what they do. Men need to feel that they're making her happy. Why? Because these needs have been built in from evolution. And there's specific requirements as to why they're there. Equally, on her side, she needs to feel cherished and focused on as though she's the number one important thing in his life. Why would that be important from an evolutionary point of view? Because if she wasn't, she would be dead. And that underlying evolutionary need is still built in and still required. And she needs to feel like he is on top of all the problems inside their world. Things like the finances, things like the kids, things like how she's feeling and her emotions and being able to express those emotions. And without those needs being met, we can talk about every single topic. We can talk about how he's angry, or we can talk about how she's frustrated. Why is she frustrated? Because she's carrying the emotional burden of the relationship. That's why she's frustrated. And dealing and talking with the frustration is just going round and round in circles. It is not going to address the underlying issue. And if you're really enjoying our chats here and you've been following us for a little while, make sure you subscribe, because it's really important to us that you get the message and keep receiving these really important messages from us on how to have a great relationship, because we're all about not just your relationship, but ensuring that the social impact of divorce inside our society, our culture, is stopped. The impact is way too huge. So when it comes back to their needs and addressing their needs, there are very simple needs that we have, three of which I mentioned on both male and female side, or more importantly, masculine and feminine, because those needs still exist in the same-sex relationship as well. So how do we get those needs met? Well, first of all, we have to understand what those needs are. So for her, as an example, feeling this need for him to be involved in every single topic of the relationship, if that's not happening, her stress levels are going to increase. Why? Because without being heard and understood, her cortisol levels will start to increase. She'll become stressed. She'll be pushed into her masculine state, and now will either shut down and walk away or start verbally attacking him. If she verbally attacks him, he will initially fight, but at some point he's going to shut down and walk away, because that is what the masculine does when it's under attack. Either attacks back or retreats. One of the two. These things are evolutionary and they're built in. So a way around this is to understand that this is going to happen in a relationship. And what we've seen is that the unspoken communication in a relationship, the way that we hold our bodies, the way we manipulate our bodies to produce these various hormones such as oxytocin, testosterone, and cortisol, the three main hormones that affect the quality and connection inside a relationship. These are the real things that we need to be addressing, not topics. Topics don't cut it. Topics are the symptoms of these underlying things that are going on. If you want to know more about this on a direct personal level, then I would highly recommend you book a discovery call. And in that call, what we can do is guide you through how it's impacting your relationship directly. And so when we understand that we need to manipulate these things and we understand how they're produced, such as when a man truly understands what the masculine state is and he moves into that state, his levels of testosterone will increase by 40%. That sends through the pheromones that exist in the air around us a direct message to her that she is safe, that she's heard and understood. Much more powerful than the words. Words are 7% of the total impact inside a relationship conversation. And so when that happens, her levels of oxytocin, the relaxer, and connector hormone increase by as much as 30%. These actions that we can take, unspoken, are a direct communication. And when we understand how to use these appropriately, because our culture has forgotten completely how to use this, we have an impact not only on our relationship, but on the world as well. You want to know more? Check out our website, check out our testimonials, and see how in 3 days your relationship, your marriage, your family can completely change. Check it out, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe.